Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give call halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai for giving me the spirit and power to do this lesson. I'm going to go over like 3 precepts. I'm at work right now, but I found some time where I was able to throw out a couple scriptures so that we can all meditate on dealing with the law, statutes, and commandments. Because even though the law, statutes, and commandments is not going to save us alone, we still need the law, statutes, commandments to become better people. If you want to be an honorable man or woman, the law, statutes, commandments is the only thing that's going to help you. Because in the scriptures in Psalm 19:7, it said that the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. So if you tired of sinning, you tired of going through what you're going through, and I'm not talking about the chastisement, but you tired of sinning, you tired of doing certain things that you know in your spirit is off, even though it ain't clear in the law, the best thing to do is to stick to the law the best way you know how, and to stick to the wisdom of the scriptures like Ecclesiastes, Proverbs, Wisdom of Solomon, and Sirach, right? And dealing with wisdom, Sirach 19:19, it says that wisdom is the performance of the law. So you dealing with wisdom on a daily basis is the performance of the law, and you're going to get better and better. In fact, in Deuteronomy chapter 4, it tells you that the law, statutes, commandments is our wisdom and understanding in the sight of all the people. We want to be a honorable, upright people coming from a very destroyed state. So the heathens get to watch us at our destroyed state, and they get to watch us be glorified right in their face. And this is what we want. So I'm gonna continue. This is Second Ezra chapter 4, right? So when you read Second Ezra chapter 4 and verse 28, it says, "But as concerning the things whereof thou hast asked me, I will tell thee. For the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come." We understand that. It's a whole bunch of evil. Like I was just I just did a drop at my last stop, and I deal with pharmaceuticals. So I'm thinking that I go in there trying to get on the elevator. I got my dolly, I got a couple things on her. I'm already in line, but it was like 3 different people. They hurry up and jumped on the elevator before I can get on the elevator with my dolly, even though I'm in front of them. They hurry up and jumped on it. And the dude was just like, and then so I'm going up to I'm going up to the level 4, and then I go into level 4 because he already on the elevator. He already went up, so I didn't know where he was going. Man, when I got there, he's right there on level 4. He's going in the room I'm going. So come to find out, he's the boss. He's the boss. And I'm like, wait, so you're the boss, and this is your character? You can just imagine how the rest of his employees act. You can just imagine how the people over him act. The evil is all throughout this earth, man. And I looked at that as evil because it's like you're not considering without natural affection. He wasn't even considering that I was in line first. He looked at it like, bro, I got a badge. I'm the boss here. Just wait your turn. Even though I was in line first. I look at that as evil, man. It's like, bro, you couldn't be patient and just wait, nigga. You was behind me. But him and a couple of women, they jumped in front of me, jumped on the elevator just to go upstairs and eat some damn Chick-fil-A, man. No, rushing, non-patient, and this world is gonna get even more chaotic pretty soon because of these people don't know how to exercise their patience, right? So this gonna get very chaotic very fast, man, and that's what we waiting on. We hoping this happens sooner than later. And the only people that's hoping that this happens sooner than later is the ones that's changing in these last days, that's keeping the law, statutes, commandments each and every day, not when they want to, or breaking the law because they feel like they want to do this. Because a lot of people are doing that. They breaking the law, statutes, commandments simply because they want to do something, right? And they look at it as just one law that they can do it, and that's just not what the Bible explains. You do not have a license to sin. You do not have permission to break one law, man. None of us do. But it says, before I get into a whole spiel, but as concerning the things whereof thou asked me, I will tell thee. For the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, so if I wasn't able, and me and you, if we were not able to see how wicked these people are, we needed to see it. Truth be told, we needed to see how evil and how wicked the earth can get. The minds of the people, how bad it can get. Where people just want you to fucking glorify them. That's all they want. That's all niggas is worrying about. How many views they got, who's watching them and trying to link up with, it's all about a celebrity status. That's what everybody wants, a celebrity status. And that shit is old, man. That shit is horrible, right? Because they tell you in Luke 16, that which is esteemed among men is an abomination in the sight of the Lord. They don't even know. They blinded trying to, reach to this height of fame. In every category on the earth, man, even in the nation of Israel, niggas want to be famous. In the world, niggas want to be famous, right? And it takes a lot of evil to get to that point, man. It says, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. For the grain of evil seed have been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning, and how much ungodliness have it brought up until this time, and we can see it. Haters of themselves, haters of others without natural affection, variance, emulation, strife, debate, malignity, maliciousness, adultery, all manners of fornication. Look at the wicked ass movies, man. We're at a height. We're in 2024 AD where technology is at an all-time high, man. An all-time high where they can use this technology to show us things in the Bible that we only can imagine. They have the ability to show us these things. But here it is, they're making movies like The Skeleton Key. They're making movies like Saw. They're making movies, all these horrible ass movies they making that's feed negativity and making you more afraid of Satan than afraid of the Most High God. You know how beautiful a story was if the best directors and producers got together and they created the story of King David exactly how the Bible explains it, right? Or the story of Noah exactly how the Bible explains it, right? With all this AI, how they can create these animals to do certain things that the Bible explains it, like the donkey talking or with Balak. Like, it's so much things they can do when it comes to righteousness with this technology, but they choose not to do it, man. They choose not to. So it's gotten to a horrible state. It says, and how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come? And that's why we be telling the people here today that it's only going to get worse from this point. And you would think like, damn, how can it get worse than this? But it's going to get worse than this. It's going to get very worse than this, man. To the point where, and this happened today too, this morning. And this just shows that we're desensitized to a lot of shit. Like this morning, I was, I'm driving on my way to go for my first drop, and I seen a wreck, and the wreck was three cars, and it was a very bad wreck, very bad wreck. But I literally seen it, heard the boom, seen everything, and bro, I just put my head down and looked at the phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit didn't happen. If it wasn't so normal, everybody would get out their car and run to them and make sure they okay. But people just keep on driving on about their minutes. It could have been somebody in there dead. But we're all have been desensitized to shit that we shouldn't be desensitized to. We just shouldn't, man. When people die, nobody really bats an eye. Nobody really cares anymore. It can be your mom, it can be your cousin, it can be your uncle. And we're not even showing up to funerals. Now, according to the Bible, we know why we don't show up to funerals. But even in the world, people don't show up to funerals. But they have their own other reasons why they don't. We don't show up to funerals because we have a job to do and it requires us to be clean. That's why we don't show up. And it goes on and on and on. But it also says, ponder now by thyself how great fruit of wickedness the grain of evil seed have brought forth. And when the ears shall be cut down, which are without number, how great a floor shall they fill? So I brought this out to show the Most High is explaining through Uriel, is explaining how evil the world was back then and how evil it is now, and how it is all the way up until the time of threshing, meaning the time when it's time to judge. The only thing that can balance this out is the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High God. And that's why he has a chosen few who he chose to wake up and to shed light on all of this darkness that we're looking at in the earth. And when you look at the actions, the characteristics of these people, the traits of these people, You're like, man, I don't want to be like these people at all, man. These are some wicked ass individuals. Whether it's nations or individuals, man, these people are wicked as fuck, man. Including Jake. Wicked as hell, man, and they don't care. They don't give a damn about what you're talking about. They don't give a damn. Here it is. They don't even love God. But then here it is. You think that girl love you? Or here it is. You think that man love you? You got niggas trying to save the heathens. Here it is. They don't even love God, bruh. They're teaching everything contrary to God. But here it is. You're supposed to love them and try to save them. We got to save them too. Here it is. All Jake ain't going to be saved. But we supposed to be trying to save heathens. The whole foundation of the earth is out of course. That's Psalms 82 and 6. The whole foundation of the course. And it says the same thing in 2nd Ezra chapter 4. Everything has been turned upside down so that the Most High God law can be the light that everybody sees. The ultimate light that everybody sees. It had to be done like that so we can see how much we need the law. And when you go back a chapter in 2nd Ezra chapter 3, when you read 2nd Ezra chapter 3 and verse 20, it says, and yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart. It's talking about the same wicked heart we just read in the next chapter, in chapter 4, where he says the evil grain was sown in the heart of Adam. The evilness, the wickedness. And the Most High said in verse 20 in the previous chapter, and yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart, that thy law might bring forth fruit in them. So the Most High God left everything wicked because of what Adam did, just so his law can shine, just so his law can bring forth fruit in his elect, the people that he choose. And that's exactly what's going on. The Most High has a chosen few, and I like to think of myself as a part of that. And me keeping the law, statutes, commandments, man, it will definitely help me understand how wicked I was and how wicked this world is. And it helps you understand that this world don't love God as much as they say. They just don't. Man, I don't care. It really don't matter, man. When you hear the words of the Bible for what it is, and then you still go to church talking about Jesus Christ, bro, you're worshiping another God, bro. Let's just stop playing. Because that's not what the God of the Bible told you to do and told you not to do. Right? Saying the law is done away with. Well, how else will you acknowledge the Most High? How else can you? You can't just praise the Most High and just think that's all you're supposed to do. Is throw up a couple praises and then you and the Most High God is good. No, the Most High God he requires obedience. Most High God wants you to be obedient unto his laws, statutes, and commandments. And then he will acknowledge you. And then he will show forth himself unto you. And that's just what it is, man. So I'm going to read it again. And yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart, that thy law might bring forth fruit in them. We need the law, statutes, and commandments so that it can bring forth fruit in us. So we can know we messed up and how to come back to him. And that we need to come back to him. And that's just what it is, man. We need the Most High God's law, statutes, and commandments. We need them. We need him and the laws. He don't need us. We need him. And we have to acknowledge that. So from there, I want to get one more. So Romans chapter 7 and verse 7. It says, 7 and 7. What shall we say then? Is the law sin? Right? Just because we're not under the law of sin and death, is the law sin? It says, God forbid, nay, I had not known sin, but by the law. For I had not known lust, except the law had said, thou shalt not covet. So Paul is explaining the fruits of the law on why the law is needed. And he says, what shall we say then? Is the law sin? Because he's explaining how, and I probably got tongue-tied a little bit, but he's explaining how the law, statutes, commandments alone is not going to save you. He's explaining how even when you keep in the law, statutes, commandments, there's still other things that you have to do in order to be saved, in order to be right in the eyes of the Most High God, which is faith. We know that. Under this grace that we have, he's explaining grace, faith. He's explaining multiple different things throughout his books, right? Not just the law, right? Matter of fact, I'm going to just start up. It says verse 6, but now we are delivered from the law. That's why he's saying, is the law sin? meaning we're delivered from the law, meaning we're delivered from the law of sin and death. That is just simple, man. It's not talking about literally delivered from the law because the law is perfect. It's talking about being delivered from the law of sin and death. You sin, you get put to death for it. There's no sacrifice for these kind of sins. We're delivered from that under the grace of Yahushua HaMashiach, John 1 and 17. But it says, but we are delivered from the law, that being dead wherein we were held. We were held to the standard of the law. We would all got put to death, man. Especially there would be no nation of Israel if we were still under the law of sin and death. It says that we should serve in newness of spirit, right? And that's where Yahushua Mashiach come, and that's what he explained it to us in Romans chapter 6, verses 1 through 3. He explained us that we died with Yahushua. Well, Yahushua died, and we died with him, and we should serve him in newness of spirit. It says, and not in the oldness of the letter, meaning the law of sin and death. It says, what shall we say then? Is the law sin? And he says, God forbid, meaning hell no. He says, for nay, I had not known sin. I have not known what sin is, except, it says, but by the law, for I had not known lust, except the law had said, thou shalt not covet. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, his belongings, his manservant, his maidservant, right? Which, no, that's a spiritual aspect in the Bible. You thinking about, wanting something that isn't yours. Can't nobody really see that. But deep down inside, the Most High God sees that, and this is what he's going to judge you. You was lusting after that man's wife, right? That's why Yahweh Shah was speaking about, he was magnifying the law. He was touching on the spirituality of the law when he said, he that looketh after another woman and lusteth after her committed adultery in his heart. So he's touching on the spiritual aspect of the law, just like Paul is, right? Just like Moses did. The Most High gave us the spiritual aspect of the law when he said, thou shalt not covet. Straight up. He gave us the spiritual aspect when he said, man shall not live by bread alone, which is going into our faith. Just that simple, man. But my point is, the law, statutes, commandments is supposed to bring forth fruit in you. It's supposed to change you. It's supposed to do great things for you in these last days, man, so that you can get closer and closer to the Most High God, and not, you over using excuses why you can't change or why you still struggling with certain things. That's because you're not keeping the law, man. Let me not say that. I'll take that back. Not struggling with things. Because a lot of niggas, I'm only saying that because a lot of niggas say they struggling with things and they really not. There's no way you struggling with something for 4 and 5 years, bro. The same little, and it'd be small things. Like, bro, you shouldn't be struggling with porn for 5 years, bro. You just shouldn't. You shouldn't be struggling with porn for 5 years, bro. You know what I'm saying? You just shouldn't, bro. And it's many more other things you shouldn't be struggling with that's really petty, right? That's not worth your salvation. Because the scripture says, if you be overcome, you're going to suffer as he said. But if you overcome, you're going to receive the things that he say, right? And the law is included in that. You know what I'm saying? You getting the law on your inward part, you getting a new body, you getting the kingdom of heaven, you getting everything you want. The women, you getting the riches, honor, glory, wisdom, you getting all of that. But the only thing that's going to help you get closer to that is the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? We touch on the law, statutes, commandments, and we touch on faith. That's the only thing that's going to bring you closer, to being a king and, closer to immortality. Right? That's why it tells you, if you desire kings and thrones, if you desire to be a king and sit on a throne, he says, honor wisdom that you may reign forevermore. That's Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6. And wisdom is the performance of the law, man. Matter of fact, I'm going to close out with that one. I know they wondering where I'm at. So in Sirach chapter 19 and 19, right? So Sirach 19 and 19, it says 19 and 20. The fear of the Lord is all wisdom. When you fear him, that's the most wisest thing you could ever do. It says, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law and the knowledge of his omnipotency. Wisdom is the performance of the law. You can, man, you can, I'm convinced that you can be saved just off of the book of Sirach. I don't know if you know, but Sirach, it literally tells you in a prologue that Sirach is the details of the law. Sirach detailed the laws out for you. It talks about a whole bunch of things that's in the law, but it details it for you. And that's what we need. And that's why some camps prefer that you, when you first come into their camp, you read the Torah and you read Sirach, the whole book of Sirach, before you can come in their camp. Which is I think it's a real good work. I think it's a good idea. Read the law and read Sirach, man, before you start getting into Revelation, trying to break down the 7 heads and the 10 horns, man. Keep the law, statutes, commandments. Stick to the sincere milk of the word, and the rest of it is gonna grow on you. And that's just that simple, man. Keep the laws of the Most High God, so that it can bring forth fruit in your wickedness. It's gonna show you how wicked you are and what you need to change. So until then, I say shalom.